Hi, my name is Bill Sykes. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the American Train Dispatchers Association, and we are filming a series of videos to kind of provide insight and information to Union Pacific train dispatchers on the benefits of unionizing with the ATDA as their representation. Now, today I've got a special guest. His name is Wes Monger. He is a former Union Pacific train dispatcher that now dispatches as a union train dispatcher with the BNSF, with ATDA as his representation. Wes, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that. And I really appreciate you joining us. I think you've got some insightful things to say and share. So we'll get right to that. You were a train dispatcher with the Union Pacific Railroad for quite a few years. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I was 12 and a half years from '06 to 2019
Gotcha. And that was in Spring or Omaha or somewhere else?
in spring.
Spring, Texas. All right.
And then the last 3 years was in the NOC in Fort Worth.
All right. And why did you end up leaving the Union Pacific Company?
When they started consolidating back in 2019 and closing a lot of the outlying offices, they moved our two desks that we had in the Fort Worth headquarters up to Omaha, and they wanted to move me back down to Spring, and I didn't want to go, so they gave me the ultimatum to go or to quit. So I went ahead and quit.
And then you ended up being hired on as a train dispatcher, like I said, with the BNSF. And you've been there how long now?
3 years.
3 years. Gotcha. All right. So that's enough time to gain some perspective on the differences between the two working situations.
Right.
What would you say is the difference between working as an ATDA represented dispatcher at BNSF versus being non-union as a train dispatcher at UP?
For me, the biggest thing was the pay. Of course, when I was in Spring, when I started in '06, back then UP would give you first 2 years, they would give you a $5,000 raise every 6 months for the first 2 years. And then after that, you got your merit and bonus raises every year based on your evaluations. In the Spring office, there was BNSF dispatchers, there still are. And 2 years after I was with UP, new hire came into the BNSF part, and I became friends with her. Well, she immediately started out with more pay than I was getting. It took me 10 years to catch the pay that she had just based on those raises. And I thought
That's life
that was
changing.
very, yeah.
I gotcha. Well, we'll keep this real simple. I mean, and if there's any other differences you'd like to share, you can chime in here too. But what advice would you offer to the Union Pacific train dispatchers as they consider whether or not to organize and become union under the ATDA?
When I was down there in Spring and we tried to go union twice and they got shot down twice, and I would consider them to try it again. Back then, a lot of old heads didn't want to go because they would lose their pension. And what I understand, that's all but gone now, and none of the new hires are getting it anyway. So just the last few remaining old heads are getting it. And I was vested after I'd been there, and I'm still going to get it even after I retire from BNSF. Once I retire railroad period, I'll still get my pension. It's not going to be full pension like it was if I'd have stayed with UP, but I'm still getting like $1,000 extra a month once I retire.
But you are also you qualify for the IRMA insurance too at the time you're 60, where you wouldn't have had that over there, right?
Right, yes, sir.
So that's like, and for those who don't know, that's healthcare. Like Wes will qualify for basically a monthly premium free. Like you don't pay the monthly cost share health insurance when he's 60 until he goes on to Medicare. And that's a benefit of ATDA representation. So I guess that kind of offsets in itself,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, is there anything else you'd like to add or anything like that?
Another thing was speaking of the healthcare was when I was with UP, I only paid like say it was $80 a month in premiums, but I had an $11,000 deductible, and from what I hear now, it's even higher than that. Going union, you pay a little bit more a month. I think we're at three something now. We're going to go down to 270, and then but if I go to the doctor, like I went to the ER just last week for pneumonia, and I only paid $100. Where and I got the total bill was over $5,800. And if I would been with UP, I would have had to pay that whole amount. So I paid $100 and $1.88 for my medication.
Yeah, and that's the great thing. It's like I think we are at like 309 right now, and it's going to drop to 277 and some change January 1st. And that's whether it's just you or if you've got a wife and three kids or whatever. Like your family can have health insurance for 277.54 a month, and you don't have to play with the high deductibles. I believe the family deductible is $700 right now.
Right.
Um, yeah, it's great insurance. But Well, Wes, if you can add anything further you want, but that's all I've got. I just wanted these folks to hear your perspective.
What I like about the union is when I was with Union Pacific, if you got a rules violation, you were on your own, and they could fire you immediately. They could fire you anytime for whatever reason they want to. Now, at least with the union, you've got somebody that's got your back. You know, if you do go into those kind of things, and there's a process to the rules violation. It's not just here's your violation, here's your punishment. At
Right.
least with the union, you got somebody to help you out with that.
Right. When you're union, it's an allegation that they bear the burden of proof. And then even after the investigation and they hand down their decision, that you have a way to appeal it and seek justice. I just can't imagine, especially with like certification coming, I just can't imagine facing that without the backup of the union. But hey, that's for them to decide. And I think you've been very helpful, Wes. I really sincerely appreciate you your willingness to come on and talk freely.
Yes, sir. You bet.
For those of you interested in finding out more about the benefits of the ATDA representation, what we can do for you, check out our organizing website. It's atdanow.org. That's atdanow.org. And you can also email me at info@atda.org. That's info@atda.org. All right, for Wes and for myself, Bill Sykes, and for the ATDA, we're signing off here, but be on the lookout because we've got more videos like this on the way. See you later.